Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored this week by Stern and Spiegel LLP. Let us solve your problems. Here are your hosts, Dave and Norm. Take it away.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Norm. It's incredible to be outside in this weather.
We're on the Chestnut baseball field. It's beautiful out here.
Springtime is here. We're getting ready for playing ball.
Yeah.
And what better way to do it than to actually be on the ball field?
Yeah, the kids are going to love this.
Absolutely. You know what? The field is in okay condition. It's not great. It could use a little grooming as we look around, but all right,
it works.
It's it'll work, and we got first base already loaded. So let's just kind of dive into the news.
Lots of stuff going on.
So,
this week is Yom Hashoah, remembering the Holocaust. There's lots of places that are holding various kinds of meetings and affairs. On Sunday, April 16th, the Synagogue of Sharei Shalom, together with the Partnership of Jewish Community Relations Council, are holding an online event that you can basically register for. Mm-hmm. All the information will be on our site. They are having Marvin Kalb, who's a distinguished guy, been on television for many years, and I think he will be hosting it. And then the following night, locally at the Young Israel of West Hempstead, they're going to be having, I think at 8 o'clock, is it? 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
8 o'clock, they're going to have two speakers. One is talking about psychiatry and the Holocaust, and another one is actually a survivor.
So two very, very important events, and I believe with the virtual meeting or virtual presentation, he's going to be showing clips from his interviews with Eli Wiesel.
Oh, that's spectacular.
That's going to be unbelievable and very, very powerful. So we urge people to register. They can go up on the site, and also to go to the Young Israel on Monday.
Right.
And one of the things that we really hate the most about West Hempstead is all about exit 17. It's about the Southern State Parkway. So, fortunately, I think there's some pretty good news. So there's a proposed bill to designate the Southern State Parkway as a safety corridor, which most importantly would allow for speed cameras. And this has been put through by one of the legislators in Elmont. And how many times do you get on the Southern State and you're going, at the speed limit, and
people pass you like you're standing still.
And not only that, they're racing. There could be, 3 cars, 4 cars, motorcycles,
kids.
And God forbid you kind of vary, for 1 second, it becomes your fault.
Right.
And this is a real epidemic. This is something that kind of literally, excuse the pun, took off during COVID. And it just hasn't been hauled in. So it seems like finally, we're getting to the point where the government and the legislators are going to be doing something about it. And I think that's good news.
I think the public's screaming for safety, and we've had the same thing on Woodfield Road where we're asking the legislators to get involved. We'll be meeting with John Giuffre in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
I'm sure he's going to tell us something about it. He's been working really hard to make sure that something gets done on Woodfield Road. Hopefully it's enough. We'll find out.
Yeah, we keep hearing about these traffic, about a traffic light that's going up. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe on Spruce, maybe not, maybe crosswalks. It's all a bunch of crap. We need action. Woodfield is a major issue, and just like they're dealing with the Southern State, they got to deal with Woodfield. But Norm, also, I hear that there's almost like breaking news as relating to one of the construction areas that was on Woodfield.
They were supposed to build 150 apartment units. They were asking for all kinds of variances, parking variances, height variances, exceeding the number of stories, front yard setbacks, the number of parking spaces, insufficient maneuverable aisles. So they asked for so many variances. They got turned down this week. That's a big deal. We're losing 150 apartments in the neighborhood. Apartments are desperately needed. Rental property is very difficult in West Hempstead. Parents are having trouble moving in. So I think this is an opportunity for them to go back and reapply and probably cut down some of the things that they're asking for to see if it's still economical.
And is the zoning there, meaning they're building apartments by the old liquidators and rather substantial numbers. We're talking about Woodfield already being a road that's, being overrun. We look at Hempstead Avenue behind us and we're getting into rush hour. There's going to be a tremendous amount of traffic. Can our neighborhood support another complex?
I don't think there's any question that we could support it, but I think the issue had to do with the special zoning that they put through for that original apartment house. That zoning allowed for special end-of-the-line railroad apartment zoning. They jumped on that, and somehow they just asked for too much. Either too many units or not enough space for the cars to maneuver. But traffic is going to be an issue in that corridor.
Yeah.
We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of apartments in a very, very small area, and I think if they don't get it right, it will be a problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're definitely going to keep on top of that situation.
Yep.
So, another message from Don Clavin. And,
he had something to say?
Another piece in the mail. Who would have thought we'd get,
I thought I heard everything there was to hear from Clavin.
You know, he has to go kill another tree. Now, in this particular case, it's kind of interesting because it is the street sweeping schedules starting May 8th, 9th, and 10th and running through October. Last year, they didn't send this out, and also when I called to get an idea of the street sweeping, they sort of had no idea. So at least now we got something on paper. So, you know, you should be getting this in the mail. Best not to park your car on the street during those days so the street sweepers can do their thing and get rid of all the, you know, usually the streets are so full of residue from the winter, but there was like one snow this year, so the streets aren't in that bad condition, but you know, we still need to take care of them.
Yeah, I think we'll be meeting with the sanitation department.
Yes.
The secretary to the board has agreed to sit down with us. We'll get the real facts. I think they stopped for a while. I think during COVID, they lost a lot of manpower. They decided street sweeping would be pushed to the side. Now they're back, and I think it'll make a difference.
Now, if we can only get people to fix the potholes, that's that.
Sidewalks. I thought you wanted sidewalks.
Potholes, sidewalks. It's all about the cement. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week in West Hempstead. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Norm, and we look forward to joining you next week on This Week in West Hempstead.
Enjoy the weather.
Thanks, everybody. If you'd like to sponsor this program, much like Stern & Spiegel Tiffany Dry Cleaners, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.